What's up, everyone? Welcome to a movie R&D, a review and discussion of Scotty Gash's favorite film of 2019.
Yes, that is correct.
Knives Out. No counting for taste from our executive producer. Man.
Here we go. Let's start right off the bat. Here we go.
Knives Out is a 2019 American mystery film written and directed by Rian I Destroyed Star Wars Johnson and produced by Johnson and Bergman. A modern whodunit. The film follows a master detective investigating the patriarch's death after a family gathering gone awry. This is an ensemble cast.
Gone
Ari. The word's Ari.
Gone awry.
God damn it! That ain't the way it's spelled. I lost
Gone Ari.
Frank Oz is in this movie. Just saying. Star Wars connection.
Definition ensemble cast: Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Anna Armaris. I didn't know her very well to this movie, but I liked her. I know she was in a scary movie before. I can't remember which one I've seen her in. Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shanahan, Dawn Johnson, Toni Collette. All right, there's a lot. All right, and those are the main ones.
There's a lot.
So this has been not the inside joke. I didn't really like this movie as much as everybody else.
Very outside. It was an outside.
You rated it a 3.5 out of 5 when you did your review of this. When you did your first review of this as a family, I was not included with that, by the way, because I was ostracized still at that point. But you gave it a 3.5 out of 5 when you ranked it. I think the family was a little higher than you, but you gave it a 3.5. I did. And I crucified you for that because I really liked this movie.
You did, but 3.5 on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, 2.5 being average is above average movie.
I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. You're saying a 5 is an average movie, so a 2.5 is an average movie out of 5. But okay, whatever. Yeah, we'll get into our discussion about what ranking we really think it is. But okay.
I will say this: this is the worst whodunit in the history of whodunits. That was my problem.
No.
What?
That's my problem with it. Good mystery movie. It's not a whodunit. But we'll get into it, right? That's watching it the second time, though. I think I enjoyed it more because I knew I wasn't going along for a ride of criminal investigation, right? Like when you watch,
that's the movie.
Isn't that what?
That's what the movie is. That's what the movie is, and it's different. You had a perception when you went into this movie, because I told you 17 times to finally go see it because I thought it was good. Yes. You went into this movie with a preconceived notion of exactly cookie cutter what you thought it was going to be like. And you saw that Mr. Rian Johnson was the director of the movie. So you already had 2 points taken off of it. It gained a half point back because it was that good, I think.
I remember the conversation. I remember saying, Rian Johnson will be so damn cute with this whodunit. He'll do a whodunit where no one did it. Remember that conversation? That's exactly what he did.
I do get it. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying you held that against the movie. I didn't hold it against the movie. I went in with open arms and said, please entertain me. Just please entertain me. And it did. And you went in, Rian Johnson, I don't want to watch this. This is going to be bad. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else.
Exactly. He wants to be cute. He had Looper. I liked Looper. That's a good movie. Rian Johnson has movies I like. I don't even hate Last Jedi as much as everyone. I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
I don't like it. But I also am not closed-minded and say, oh, this is one movie that he did. It might be different than the other movie that he did that I didn't like.
It's different. Didn't make it good. Didn't make it bad.
You know what this is listed as on Amazon? What kind of movie?
Whodunit.
It's a comedy.
Comedy.
Really? No.
It does not say whodunit anywhere.
They're advertising. Yeah, that's the problem I have with it. They advertise this movie as a whodunit, a modern day whodunit. That's what every trailer, everything you saw.
I love how you say modern day, and I know it might be set in the here and now, but this movie is really a throwback. Like everything about it screams that it's a throwback type of movie. Like the style of movie that it is, the interaction between characters, Daniel Craig's accent that we'll get into in a little bit, but everything about this movie screams throwback to me, and that's part of why I liked about it.
Was Andrew in
yeah, exactly.
There you go. Actually,
if this is the worst,
go
ahead. If this is the worst whodunit, then the other one's got to be like pretty amazing. That's all I'm saying. Like I thought this was good.
So, yeah, let's use your book analogy, Brandon. If you say if a movie's bad, then book must have been horrible. If this is the worst whodunit movie ever, then some of the other movies that are whodunits must be god awful because.
Well, here's my reasoning though. It's not a whodunit movie. They advertised that it was 30 minutes in.
Disagree.
You know who did it. You know who did it 30 minutes in.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Know who really did it.
What? They
don't
show
know
you what happens. 30 minutes in, the mystery is over, and now you're just along for a ride. That just watching the movie.
I disagree.
Okay,
There
go ahead.
There is still a mystery at the end of who really did it. Just because he didn't succeed,
who caused it to happen. Yeah. Right. That's my thing. It's not who done it. You're right. They show what he does to himself.
But
exactly.
Listen, when they said this is what happened, which we'll get into in a second, the dude kills himself, right? There's no more mystery at that point. You don't know there's more to it. Now it looks like a chase film of her running away. Is she going to get the money? Is she not going to get the money? It's not even a mystery at this point until later when Daniel Craig finally says, I think there's still more to this. You know
that I'll concede to you. It starts as a mystery. Then you think you know who done it and it turns into a chase, but then they switch it back to a mystery at the end. That I will give you, but it's still a mystery / whodunit movie by the end of the movie.
You just don't know halfway through that you're still watching a whodunit. It doesn't mean that it's not a whodunit.
I know who done it 30 minutes into the movie.
you know how he died. You don't know what caused him to die.
Knife across the throat. Didn't you watch the same movie I watched?
Oh, I watched it 3-4 times now. Yes, I have watched this movie.
All right. Let's go back.
I'm Brandon K. I refuse to like the movie.
Someone was trying to do it though. Like someone was trying. Right. It's just it didn't work.
The most obvious character, by the way, in the movie.
That I will agree with.
This is my first whodunit, I guess. So like I don't know. Okay, I'm pretty fresh.
It's not Murder on the Orient Express. It's not. It's not that movie. That's an Agatha, or what's her name? Agatha Christie?
Agatha Christie.
Okay. Yeah, that's an old school Agatha Christie. That's a real whodunit. Then there were none. Murder on the Orient Express, easy for me to say. All those Agatha Christie novels were definitely whodunits. And that's why I think this is a throwback to that era. Like,
Okay, Scott, I am so happy that you brought up And Then There Were None, because I was in that play. Do you remember me in that play, Brandon? I was like the first one to die.
I do.
Carry me off the stick. Anyways, the guy that played the villain in the end, the whodunit, in the end of that play, used the same accent as Daniel Craig.
Craig, really?
Kidding.
He really did.
So when I was watching this movie, that's all I heard was this kid that played. Oh my gosh, that's funny. The colonel or whatever that part is in Then There Were None.
Not to beat a dead horse, but you saw right there on that movie or on that book or that play. When did you find out who done it? At the end, when the mystery is time to solve it, right? There's a very script for these kind of things. There's a formula for these kind of things. And
there's a really script. There's a really script, not a partial script. There's a really script.
But like,
worked hard.
You tell me this is a whodunit, and then you snatch that away. I think that's why I didn't enjoy this movie the first time I watched. I did not enjoy it. I actually liked this movie, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the second time, because the second time now I'm just watching it for entertainment. The first time I'm watching it because I want to be a detective and solve the mystery.
Why aren't you walking into a movie saying, hey, just let this entertain me, as opposed to having preconceived notions of what it is and how it has to live up to something?
That's how I'm entertained. Well, with the whodunit, I want to be in on it. It's like a game of Clue for me. You know what I mean? This
is not Clue, which that had 4 different endings, actually. So that's even more of is it really a whodunit? But anyway.
Everyone did it. All right. Well,
except Mr. Green.
Let's talk about this movie a little bit. All right. So first.
What's wrong with your voice?
I'm sorry. I'm having an allergy attack. My voice is like funny.
Right. She's allergic to BS opinions, which is what you're spewing out to this movie.
Oh, by the way, we are spoiling this. We already did, so I'll make sure I put it in the title. But this will be a heavily spoiler talk, so you better check out. All right, go ahead, Christy.
I thought the acting was actually really superb in this. I thought that everyone owned their character. If you haven't seen Knives Out, every character is very unique and very different and has a purpose in the story. And I thought that the acting was really, really well done. I thought the lead, what was her name? Marta. Thank you.
Oh, in the movie, Marta. Yeah, sorry.
I thought she did an amazing job. Like, you just really felt for this character, and you felt like she was really a good person, and you wanted her to win in the end. So when she mixes up the drugs that end up leading to the old guy killing himself, you just see that he sees this too, and he just really wants to help her. He really wants to get her out of this situation that could be really bad for her.
Mm-hmm. I thought they set this movie up super well. Like, seriously, for the first half hour, I was so invested the first time I watched it. They sit everyone down. You get their story. You get their takes. They set the mystery up. They give you a little sample of each character. And a good whodunit has very different character, like quirky character. Not quirky, but everyone has their own niche kind of character.
Yeah, some of them in this movie definitely are quirky, by the way.
Yeah, and I thought he did a terrific job of setting it up. I think Rian Johnson did a great job with subtle dialogue things like the politics where they're talking politics and like they're talking about coming in the right way, and they're not force feeding reactions from Martha, but they keep saying she's from a different country. Do you guys notice that? Everyone's like, "Oh, you're from Brazil. Oh, you're from Cuba,
Ecuador, Brazil, somewhere else." Yes, exactly.
They're totally showing that this whole family's a bunch of shitbags, but they're not throwing it in your face. They're using really good dialogue to show it. He hands her a plate while he's talking. After he includes her in the conversation, he just nonchalantly hands her a plate, and they don't feel the need to show her going, "Oh." You know what I mean? You got it by watching that guy being an asshole. So I love the first half hour of this movie. I thought it was really good.
Very subtle. And I agree, Brandon. Very subtly, they make you hate this family. And they make you wish that basically they lead you to feel like everyone's guilty. Even though none of them actually murdered this man, they're all guilty in their own right. Like, they're just horrible people.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things is when they're talking, when the detectives are talking to Jamie Lee Curtis in the beginning, and they ask her about her brother, and she says, "Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think you're going to bait me into yelling about my baby brother?" And then it goes right to Don Johnson, and who says, "He's a shithead." Like, that was great how it just switched right from one person to the other, doing the exact opposite of each other.
It was. What did you guys, Andrew, let me ask you, because you haven't been talking, what did you think Daniel Craig's accent? That's a big question.
Well, about 80% of the movie it annoyed me, but somehow I don't know what happened, but by the end, I think it was like the climax of the movie, it like sold me.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't know why, but now I like it.
And I'll be honest, Andrew, I felt the exact same way. I felt it was so corny when I first started watching it, and I was like, it almost like turned me off of the movie. And if it wasn't so well written, I think it would have. But then I agree. There's that moment when he's kind of revealing the whole plot, and you're like, oh, wow. And the second time I watched this, it didn't bother me at all. His accent didn't bother me at all because it won me over in the end.
I think people had such a big deal with it is because they know Daniel Craig is Bond now, right? Like, you're used to him being suave and smooth and a little bit of an English accent to him. And then he comes out with this Southern just ridiculous drawl, basically. You know what I mean? Like, it's different than it didn't fit him. Like, the sound may have been a little Southern and a little bit over the top, but you're so used to seeing Daniel Craig as this smooth, suave Englishman that it didn't look right on him, I think.
Yeah, but in the end, you did not see Bond during that movie.
Right.
Like, you didn't see Bond at all. And I think that's probably why they did it. And I'm actually kind of glad that they did it because I wanted to see, a different character in this role. So,
Brandon, before we move away from cast, did you realize what we've also seen that Marta was in? We just watched something else recently that she was in, and I didn't even realize it was her at first.
No, she looked familiar, but I couldn't place it. What was it?
The Night Clerk. She was the good-looking girl that he was flirting with in The Night Clerk.
Wow, yeah, she was.
But she didn't have the accent and everything else, so she looked pretty different. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not pick that up. That's why.
You know who else she looks like? She looks like your girl on Doctor Who, Jay. Brandon.
Oh no, that girl's way hotter. I mean, better actress.
Right. That's it.
I actually like Daniel Craig's draw. Like, before we get off of that, like, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought he was sitting down having a good time with his character, and I don't know. I liked it. It didn't bother me one, but even the first time, it didn't bother me. It wasn't one of my holdups about the film. I thought it was fun.
You were actually entertained. So you were actually entertained, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought it was a little above average.
Well, you said you liked the first half an hour. Was there a
Yes.
point where it stopped for you?
Yes.
I think I know. But
when they read the will and she's getting the money, Marta, and now it becomes a movie about, to me, is she going to get the money? What's going to happen? How's the family going to treat her? Yada, yada. The movie changed for me in that moment, right? Now I'm no longer trying to figure out who done it. I know who done it because Rian Johnson's a cute ass. Now it's just, I think mentally in the movie theater when I watched this is I checked out because I was so, like, the mystery was over, right? And they don't acknowledge we have a mystery going on still until she goes all the way back to the house, basically, right? Because it's almost like a spy movie at this point. Oh, I know what you did. Let's figure that out, and blah blah blah.
Honestly, when the maid ends up dead, you don't think, oh, there's a third person involved in this still.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, I got something to say about that, but you knew there was something else because the movie's still going on. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to get at. Like, the mystery didn't go away to me. It just, like, evolved into a different mystery. Like, how are they going to get out of this? What's going to happen to her? Like, I want to see her succeed because she is such a good person.
I agree, Andrew, because I don't go into movies with a preconceived notion of how it's supposed to be. Right, Andrew? Right. That's how we go into movies. Other people go in and think it needs to fit into boxes and can't enjoy themselves. But, you know, who are we?
And
I think
Daniel Craig keeps reminding us the real mystery is who hired him. That's the real mystery.
He doesn't do that after the
Yeah. He does. He does that a couple times.
Not till towards the end of the movie.
He does it. He does it in the beginning as well, as they're interviewing each of them, and then all the detectives go outside. He says, "The real question is who hired me." Like,
that's the real mystery.
Nobody told me who they were, and I got money saying you're hired, and that's kind of the mystery thread that leads through it.
Yeah, and that was great. As I said, I liked all that going up to that one moment, but like he did that whole second act is not a mystery. Like, you guys can't tell me you're sitting there thinking there's a mystery still going on here.
No, like I said to you, I agree with your point. I still just enjoyed it enough to go on the ride with it. Like, yes, you're right. It was more of a whodunit at first, and then a little bit of a chase in the middle. But then the mystery was still underlying. It wasn't as important, but it was still there. Who hired them? And then it comes back in the end. I don't think a mystery has to stay a mystery the whole time. It can ebb and flow as you're going through. It just took me on a fun ride, and that's why I liked it so much.
This is definitely a different formula. I don't think anyone's arguing that. But I feel like it was a formula that still worked, and in the end, it resulted in a really good movie.
I think Chris Evans was phenomenal in this.
Oh my God.
We're so used to seeing him play Captain America, and even in Snowpiercer, he was the goody two shoes good guy that was trying to help everybody out. And in this, he's just Christy. He's just a shitbag, right? Like, he's just like I don't care. I apologize before I said, but you're right. Like, he just is not a pleasant person. He's only looking for money. He's only looked for money his whole life. He even cusses his parents out during the reading of the will, or right after the reading of the will. The one thing I do get annoyed with, though, ever since I've watched the first Avengers movie, I feel like everybody that was in an Avengers movie and is in a later movie is eating during it. Is it just me? Like, he was eating the cookies as he's giving dialogue there. I have no idea what my hang up about that is, but he's eating during like this pivotal part of the movie. And I've noticed that with other actors too. But I just think he was great. I just think he was great in this.
Brad Pitt does that too in all of his movies. That's actually
he does. You're right. You're right.
He's eating something.
You're right.
Andrew, tell me more. What did you like about it? Like, because you seem like you love it. I know Gash loves it.
I do.
You've been gushing about it for a year. What did you like about this movie?
I liked that it was, to me, a very tightly knit story, and they planted seeds. Like, I really appreciated how whenever he was talking to Marta, what's his face, the old guy, Harlan. No, is that his name?
Harlan.
Oh,
Harlan.
No.
Something like that.
The patriarch, the guy that
The old
died?
guy.
Yeah. Thorn.
Like
whatever.
he talked about how Chris Evans' character was just like him, and how he was very confident and stupid, and how to the point where he couldn't tell a real knife from a stage prop.
Right.
And then what happens at the climax of the movie?
Right.
I should have saw that coming. That was like heavy foreshadowing, but I just appreciated that.
Yeah.
And there is some like social, I don't know, justice warrior politics, I feel like, in this movie, but it's not in your face as much as I think like in Star Wars. I think Rian Johnson should.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead. I thought you were done. Keep going.
I think Rian Johnson should like stick to writing his own stuff and not working on other characters that are already made up. Like the Star Wars, like we do have preconceived notions about what that should be, and since these are new characters, I feel less attachment to them, and I just enjoy it as it is.
Yeah.
I thought with the social justice stuff, he was hitting it on both sides. Like I didn't feel like he was picking sides or nothing on that. Just to throw that in there in case somebody's watching, and they ain't gonna watch it if it's lefty or righty. I felt like they had shitbags on both sides, kind of going at it. So I thought that was pretty even. But I thought that was more to just show them. It was good character development because that's the point where they're screwing up her name. They're all lying to her and saying, "Oh, I wanted you to do this at the funeral, but I was outvoted." Everyone says that to her, like you're all shit liars. And the plate thing happened. I love that scene. That was one of the best scenes of the movie, honestly.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but it's there.
Yeah.
Like they're all showing how much of shitbags they are outwardly. And then he's just handing her a plate and they're saying different countries, like you said, Brandon. Like that part's subtle, but they're still the toward her is subtle, but they're outwardly being crapheads about everything else, for everyone to see. So I just thought it was a fun ride. That was my thing.
I also love that they didn't make Marta this like helpless. She had flaws as the hero character, but it wasn't like she was helpless. The moment when the one brother comes and visits her at the house, and he's like, "If you return the money, we can help you," and all this stuff, and she's like, "Well, I have all those resources now, so I can buy the lawyers and I can help myself," kind of thing. And in the end, even though she had weaknesses and flaws, she was still a strong hero character, which I like that a lot because I don't think heroes have to be perfect,
I like his line at the end. You won by just being a good person. You didn't play their game. You won the game because, of how you are and all this stuff. And I did. I agree with you. I thought he was very good.
I'll be honest with you, Brandon. That's my only problem with the movie is that they praise her as this goody two shoes through the whole movie, but yet she is still hiding evidence. She's stopping a open investigation of a murder because she thinks that it was her fault. Basically, that is my only problem with the movie is that if you're calling her a goody two shoes and she's saying that she won because she's a good person, well, why was she doing cover up during the investigation part?
True.
Honestly, I could cover that saying, because she says this was his wishes a lot of the times. You know what I mean? She kept saying it. I think she was doing it because he really wanted her to take care of her and blah, blah, blah. She really wanted his plan to work because he wanted it for her. I kind of feel like I can excuse that. I know what you're saying. There's things, she's a good nurse. They're like, oh, she's a really good nurse and blah, blah, blah. But she does some bad nurse stuff, right? Like, let's talk about some of the problems. Okay, he's dying. Boom, supposedly, right? She's going to, there's no symptoms. Catch that, right? In my opinion. Don't let this guy kill himself. As a nurse, you're in the medical field. You do everything you can, no matter what that guy says, to save their life, right? She's going to go to jail later in the movie because she decides to save that maid's life. I'm just kind of surprised, the way they wrote her there. I didn't think it was very consistent with her character. I didn't think she would just let him kill himself.
She did try to save him by giving him the injection that he needed to counteract the medication. But you find out later that it was stolen. She thought it should have been in the bag, but you find out later it was stolen. And then as she's trying to call 911, he hangs up the phone and doesn't let her. And she kind of knows at that point, well, he's a goner. There's not much you can do. But I get your point. I totally get your point, Brandon. Could she have fought harder to just, I don't care, I'm going downstairs and call 911 if you're not letting me call from here? Yes, that you have to kind of give that to the movie. And I know we talk about it all the time. is the movie fun enough or good enough that you'll give them some conceits? I'll give them that little conceit in order to take me on the rest of the ride.
Yeah.
And you got to admit,
she didn't necessarily just leave. Like she left and then turn around to go back in to say something else to him, and that's when you see
what a dick. He couldn't wait one more second.
Like, why did he do it right in front of her?
He's like, hey, what's up? Shit, what an asshole.
Well, two things. He definitely was an extremist as far as that part's concerned. I think the point they were trying to get across is that, look, you told me I'm very short on time. If I don't do this myself, it's going to happen to me. And secondly, like, hey, you got no choice now. I'm doing it. Like, they were telling that part in shorthand, in my opinion, just to get that point across.
I do feel it's weird though. Like, wouldn't you wait till you had some kind of symptom? Like, he had no symptoms, obviously. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was a little weird. I thought the timing of that was a little wonky. But like you said, let's forgive it because it's still very well written. Plus, she's like, she just thought she killed someone. Like, she ain't gonna be thinking straight. So I can forgive some stuff, right? You know. But the blood splatter at the end is tough. It's on her shoe. He cuts his neck all over there by the couch. There shouldn't be blood on her shoe. I don't think would it splatter like that in front.
It could from the force of cutting your carotid, but not to get too technical about it. But I mean, that's what Dexter was all about. Anyone that ever watched Dexter, it was about pinpointing where the blood splats go, and they could go really far away. But they did bring up a line during the movie that they said there was no break in the consistency of the blood hitting the walls and everything else. So by hitting the walls, it had to have gone a little bit of a distance. So for it to hit her foot, would that have been possible? They're trying to set it up that it is anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like they trusted her a little too much, like Daniel Craig and the detectives. Like, they just straight let her hold the VHS tape.
Absolutely.
And then he even says later that he knew that she had something to do with it. So he knew that she had something to do. Yeah, but he still trusted her or whatever. Like, she obviously tried to cover her tracks.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's where I said to you guys earlier, that was my biggest problem with this movie, is that she's supposed to be a goody two shoes. And he says, you know, the reason why you won is because you're so good. But she's messing up the investigation as we're going through. And he says that I knew you had something to do with this the whole time because you had a dot of blood on your shoe from the get-go. So why would he let her handle that stuff if he saw that? I totally agree with you, Andrew. That's my only problem with this movie.
I agree too, but I will say that I love that they set that up, because at the end of Harlan's instructions to her about how to get through everything, because she couldn't lie because she had this like impulse to throw up, which is a real medical condition, by the way. You can look it up. But at the end, he says, I know that I'm missing something, but you're smart. You'll figure it out, you know, and I feel like those instances had to happen to like make that come true, as a throwback to that line, you know. Mm-hmm. But because there definitely were things that happened that, you know, she needed to fix.
We know she's a good person because the dogs liked her, all right?
Yeah, dogs liked her. I know dogs are like a look for some big shit bags, but anyway, dogs care about who feeds them. But anyway,
I did find myself asking why the dogs barked that night when he was going through who went up the stairs and everything, and they say the dogs barked, and you know, so the whole way through the movie, I found myself questioning, well, who did the dogs bark at? They didn't bark at Marto when she went back, so who did the dogs bark at? So there was enough mystery. Who sent the letter? Who did the dogs bark at? You know, who killed the nurse, to keep that mystery theme going through that second half of the movie, for me at least.
I agree with you, kind of, not. Anyway, I'm just going down through things I think were inconsistent. Morphine and time of death. Now, you might know more about this. In the beginning, this morphine will kill you in 10 minutes. And the end of this movie, when the maid takes it, it's 2 hours later, and she's still kicking in there. I did
notice that.
I thought that was a weird. Is there a reason that could happen, or I don't know? Am I looking too deep into that?
No, I mean, if it's the same dose and
they show the bottle, and it's empty.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. Well, the way they set it up in the beginning makes sense based on the amount that they give them, that it could take 10 to 15 minutes to hit the system, and then who knows what would happen. But I agree with you. If the same amount was given to her, then yes, it should have done the same thing in the same amount of time. And they're going around on a goose chase before they even get to her. Right. So
terrible,
that is
terrible, Ryan.
I agree. I agree.
He met with her at 8, and
Yes.
then the new meeting was at 10. So it was
2
like, yeah,
hours.
I did notice that also. I was like, that's crap.
No symptoms. We talked about that. I think VCR. I thought it was weird they had VCR for the freaking. Come on, update your shit. I just want to say that. Like, it's not a problem with the movie. It's just weird.
That's part of the throwback to me.
Yeah.
That's why everything about this movie just felt like it was 30 years ago to me. Like it wasn't.
Even the magnet she uses to erase it, which that
Try
would
to
not
erase
work, by the way. Yeah.
No, it would
But
not.
it was, but it was an old grape magnet that you saw in all your grandparents' fridges. When you were growing up. The only other problem I had was the vomiting. Like, it's a real condition. I thought like when she was lying at the end, like she wouldn't be able to hold it. She was definitely lying of omission at the end. Like, or no, even in the beginning when she's telling the story, the way what's his face tells her, say it like this.
Harlan.
Yes.
She still knows she's lying. That's like a neurological thing. Like, you're not being honest. She should puke there, I think. But I just
She did puke right after though, didn't she?
She did.
That
In
might
the
be a good
beginning,
point.
in the early part, she did, but then in the end, she was able to hold off and not throw up when she was lying to him about the fact that the other maid had passed away.
It passed.
I think what Andrew's saying is
Or
she does
didn't pass away.
the next scene. She goes to the bathroom and pukes. You're right, Andrew. I
Oh
forgot.
yeah, she does.
So she did hold it in earlier, and then it's not so convenient at the end when she holds it in. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have a question. In movies, when people are vomited on, why do they open their freaking mouth? Like,
Because that's funny.
Captain America's standing there and he's like, close your mouth.
Dude, that was chunky.
I know, it was super chunky. Like, it was
It was
gross.
so gross.
And it was like
Right?
all over his face.
At least it wasn't the beans and sausage that she had at that pub.
Oh, I couldn't deal.
This is a
That
stupid
sucks.
thing, but like when he was like, so tell me the truth, she didn't even have to answer him. I don't know why she did. I thought that was silly.
At the pub?
Yeah, I like that he fed her. He's like, here, I'll give you something to puke up. But then like
I think she just knew she couldn't lie at that point, and the guilt was kind of hitting her to where she did tell the truth.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
And everyone else turned on her.
Yeah, sure. I liked a lot of things about the movie, but I liked the last shot when she's pulling the coffee mug up to her mouth.
And it says my house, my rules.
House, my rules, my coffee. I just thought that was a beautiful, subtle thing at the end. While everyone on the family's down except the mom or grandmother.
I still feel like there were like a lot of metaphors. Like I think this is my opinion, but I feel like the house and the people was supposed to stand for like America in some sort of way. And then she's like this immigrant who's all, perfect, good person. And now all the bad people are out. And now she's the one taking over. I don't know.
Wow, that's deep, Andrew.
Hey, that's way deeper than I wanted to go in this movie.
I just wanted to have fun. Jeez.
I could see that.
I just know
though.
Rian Johnson likes to throw that crap in there. You know what I mean? So
He does
the
like to throw-
radar was on.
Crap in his movies. Yeah, I agree.
But
All right, anybody else got anything they
that's
want to
it.
say about this? Because I think we should rate it again after
I
a
feel
second.
like
Out of-
this is
out of 5?
definitely-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel like this is definitely a movie that it should be given a two view. Like, I think you should watch this movie twice because the second time was even more enjoyable for me. I caught some of the subtle humor. I love the subtle humor in this movie. And I just think I really enjoyed watching it the second time through.
Okay. Anybody else want
I've
to
watched it 3 or 4 times, so.
See?
Bored a lot. All right, let's rate this thing. The way we haven't done this for a while. The way we do it on Culture Problems, we do it on a scale of 1 to 5. And I think we did knives last time. I think that's pretty appropriate. 1 to 5 knives. 2.5 being average, Gash. So that's average. So if I give something 2.5, it's average. It's not bad. It's not good. See what I'm saying?
If you
It's
get
not
a 50, if you get a 50 on a test at school, how do you feel?
Not bad. That's a different scale.
Okay.
The scale.
Okay. Anyway, I'm just saying.
So 1 to 5. Let's let Gash go last since this is his beauty, and I'm sure he's gonna get. Andrew, let's go. What you got? Final thoughts and give me a score. How many knives?
I liked this movie, but I think what really made me like this movie was that climax scene. It literally got me out of my seat, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like it just all came together, and I feel like it tied everything up perfectly. And other than what we said, I can't really think of any other issues with this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I loved the graphic design. Even just the logo itself was awesome to me. And the music they chose. And if you actually watch the credits, they had like little portraits of everybody. I thought that was cool. I just thought there was a lot of thought put into this movie. I don't know. I might have to rate it probably like a 4 point, like, I might say a 4.7. I'm thinking
4.7. Wow. All right. 4.7 from Andrew. 4.7 knives. Christy, you're up.
Yeah, I echo that. I don't want to waste time, but there was a lot about this movie to like. I gave this I don't remember what I gave it originally, but I'm going to give this movie a 4.7 also.
Whoa. All right.
Nice.
Let's all calm the hell down up here.
This is a good movie.
C-pop universe.
I would highly recommend this movie to be watched twice.
Me too.
I recommended it to be watched twice.
All right. Let me do my final thoughts. I gave this movie a 3.5 on the original podcast because I went into it thinking it was a whodunit, and it's definitely not. It don't matter what these yahoos say. This is not a whodunit. It's a very crappy whodunit, but it's a good mystery movie. It is a good movie, and I said that in the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, I liked this movie a lot more because I wasn't disappointed by being let down about it not being a whodunit, but more of a mystery kind of drama comedy like hybrid. I thought the acting was really good. I thought the dialogue written by Rian Johnson was super good throughout the whole movie, but especially in certain spots, I thought he really shined. A good whodunit, even though this is not, has a good exposition dump at the end where, all right, this is what everything we've been leading up to. This is what happened. And I thought Daniel Craig nailed that scene. I thought he did a really good job. I love the throwback with Chris Evans at the end when he grabs the knife and boom, and he's like, shit. And just the look on his face when he realized it's a prop knife. And it's just funny to me. Like, I thought it was really good. I have given Gash a hard time. I like this movie. I think it's a really good movie. I might give it a 3.6. No, 3. I'll give it a 4.5. I really enjoyed this movie.
Oh,
much
what?
More. Yeah, I like to screw around with Gash, but it's a good movie, and I don't want to mislead anyone for the sake of messing with Scotty.
No pun intended, but you notice he still did throw the little knife jab of "it's not a whodunit" in there. You did notice that, right? I just wanted to make sure everybody heard that.
As a whodunit, it's a 2. It's maybe a 1.5, but as just a mystery movie with really good acting and set pieces and just a good story that's woven together at the end very nicely, 4.5.
All right, before we get to Scott though, I want to say one thing. Brendan, you keep saying it's a modern day whodunit.
Yeah,
so
which sucks.
I think that couldn't be more true. It has a nod at older whodunits, but it has a modern day twist. So it's still a whodunit.
It's not a whodunit. They shouldn't have labeled it. They set this expectation. Whatever.
So I'll go last here. This is my pet project that I was pushing on Brandon forever to watch, and they finally did for the podcast. When I rank things, if we're doing it on a knife scale or out of 5, I always stick to quarter of rankings at like 4.25 or 4.5 or out of 5, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll give it a 4.75, which is just barely over your wife and your son, who really liked this movie the second time. There's a few little things at the end that we talked about that kind of got to me. What I loved about this movie is it's fun. It didn't have to fit into a box for me. I didn't care if it was a whodunit or a mystery or what it was. It was just fun for me. The acting was great. It took you on a ride. I love the old school feel of this movie, so I can't speak highly enough. I give it a 4.75.
All right. Official Culture Pop family rating is 4.65 for Knives Out. You can check it out on Amazon Prime right now if you're a member for free. If not, you have to rent that shit.
And I bet you that's higher than Bird of Prey now. I bet than what you would ranked it better than this movie the last time. But anyway,
I'm going to show you what men do. I will concede that this is a better movie than Birds of Prey now after second viewing. But I've only watched Birds of Prey once. I may watch Birds of Prey twice and be like, nah, never mind. It's still better.
No way.
I'll go along with that ride for you if you want. I'll watch Birds of Prey again, but I still don't think it's as good as this movie.
This movie's too intelligent, like in a good way. Like it's to say Birds of Prey is better, and it's just really good. It's a really well done movie. So check it out on Amazon Prime, and that's it for our movie R&D today. We're gonna do more of these, especially since we're getting locked down again by the looks of things. So expect a lot of YouTube content just like this. If you like it, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell thingy over there. Make sure you get all our YouTube videos for Culture Pop. See you next time.